I still can't work out how this is onside.
Well, he didn't celebrate, Wirtz, and he said afterwards, he said, I didn't celebrate because I thought I was offside. And to the naked eye, it looks like he is offside, especially if you take those lines as being key to it.
I mean, the reason why I think we all look at it, we can't quite work it out, is because we've got the line of the grass. A lot of the time you don't have that, and you're talking about the angle of the camera and maybe it plays tricks with you. But it just looks offside.
And as we heard from the match centre, they were happy with their process, and they talked about the width of the lines, which just take out that little margin of doubt. They didn't want to see those millimetre offside. So I think the problem is exactly what you've said, is the line of the grass. I
like the fact that there's something built in, because I think with VAR we definitely lost what we all knew was level. You know, when you look at someone, the level, okay, it might be a toenail or the tip of a boot. I think the reason why we probably question that, it looks a little bit more than that. When you looked at the Harry Wilson one, you thought, oh, that's tight. I'm not quite sure either way. I'm not quite sure which way that will go. But when you looked at the Wirtz one, as soon as I saw it, of course, I wanted it to be a goal. But as soon as I saw it, I thought it's offside.
Welcome along to Ref Watch, everybody. It's been another busy weekend, hasn't it, of action across the Premier League, the EFL and the Scottish Premiership. Dermot Gallagher and Jay Bothroyd here to dissect the most talked about refereeing decisions from the weekend. We've got Morecambe and Wise, we've got Ant and Deck, we've got Jay and Derm. How are the vibes between you two at the moment? I think you've finished, Dermot, and we're not even in the end of January yet.
No, Dermot's good. Dermot's a bit hard. Dermot's hard on me, if anything.
Let's keep it that way. Right, guys, let's start then, shall we, at Craven Cottage, because there was that controversial moment in that 2-2 draw between Fulham and Liverpool, where Florian Wirtz equalised for the champions following a VAR review. But for all the use of technology, it still looked as though the Liverpool forward was in an offside position. When you both saw this, what did you think? Had the assistant made a great call initially, Jay?
When I initially saw this, I straight away thought Wirtz is offside. When you look at the line of the grass, it just looks ahead. And then I know that, well, now I know that there's an allowance of 5 centimetres, and that's the reason why it's given onside. My thing with this, though, is that this was told to clubs at the beginning of the season, and all of the clubs agreed to it. I didn't know this, and I think a lot of pundits didn't know this, and fans, that are watching this show now don't know this.
Well, let's elaborate on that first. Dermot, just explain that the tolerance level, 5 centimetres. In other leagues across Europe, they go to the millimetre. We're 5 centimetres in the Premier League. Why? And just explain it a little bit for everyone watching.
4.5 years ago, they brought in the thicker lines because they felt they didn't want toenails being offside. They thought it was too tight. It was to give the forward a bit of a little bit more tolerance. So the lines were thicker. But it wasn't this season. It was 4.5 years ago. In that time, I've worked out there's been 720 Premier League games, and people tell me they don't know.
No, I mean, it's not out there as a rule. It's an allowance that all the clubs agreed to, right? And for me, obviously, I'm a pundit, I'm doing my job, and I think for other pundits out there, because it's not a rule, not everyone's privy to that information. And I'm saying, to clear all this up, it would just be easier to have it out there in the public, so we all know. That's my thing. And I know we spoke about it off air. IFAB hasn't made this a rule, because obviously, in European football, there's different allowances and tolerances to the Premier League. I mean, like Dermot just said there, I don't want to see an offside for a toenail. That's, I mean, it's just going to be silly.
I mean, when you look the naked eye, not the cartoon picture there, Dermot, it does have most of us sort of checking into the opticians today, because it does look more than 5 centimetres. But essentially, playing devil's advocate, you can be offside now and score goals. It's and it's not daylight, but you can be in an offside position, albeit 5 centimetres, and the goal stands.
Yeah, because there is this tolerance level, there is this thicker line. What I'm trying to emphasise, though, Will, is that this hasn't happened Saturday for Sunday.
Yeah.
This has been going 4.5 seasons, so in fact people don't know.
But it takes moments like this for that to come out, doesn't it?
Not, the reason why people don't know is because it's not a rule.
Well, it was explained on the BBC last night.
Yeah, last night. It wasn't explained to us 4 years ago, is what I'm saying.
But he explained this has been going on for 4.5 years.
Yeah, but it wasn't explained to us 4.5 years ago, because it's not a rule. It's just a tolerance.
Yeah.
And also, this is what I'm just looking at as well, because I think a lot of people, especially in this generation now, are questioning a lot of things in everyday life. When they put up these cartoon pictures, it's fine putting up the cartoon pictures, but what about where the source is, where the ball's coming from? Because I think that needs to be shown as well. Because if you put that up and then the cartoon line as a whole, then you can see where it's coming from. But when they put just the lineup of the two players, it doesn't always tell the full story. So we have to rely on, the interpretation of the officials. And yes, we do have to trust their integrity, but still, there can be human error sometimes, like everything.
So are we saying we're happy with 5 centimetres, though, in terms of, should we be following the Champions League, La Liga, Serie A, and going?
I want to see more goals. So for me,
that's why we've got the 5 centimetres.
And I'm a forward. I think if you speak to a defender,
how much advantage does 5 centimetres give you? And to put that in perspective, I mean, it's the width of your phone.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't give you a huge advantage. I mean, when Arsene Wenger's been talking about daylight, I think that would give it a huge advantage, because with daylight, if I'm ahead of you like this, I can get my body across the defender, so that would be a massive advantage. Whereas 5 centimetres doesn't give you a huge advantage, but I think the clarity of the tolerance, I know it's happened 4 years ago, Dermot, but I think if that was reinforced and everyone knew about it, because not everyone does, then we wouldn't be having this discussion right now.
But they're two different points, because Dermot, quite rightly, you're saying that they've policed it absolutely perfectly. That's what they're within, the threshold of 5 centimetres, and that's what they followed through with yesterday at Craven Cottage, yeah?
And it is also not the first time it's happened this season. It happened at Newcastle with Gomares and Diaz. So it's not like a bolt of lightning from heaven that somebody's gone, oh, this has happened today. It's already happened.
Even that situation there, do you remember when we come in, we discussed it, and I was like, when they showed the cartoon picture, you have
my point, Jay,
Diaz jumping.
My point is, it's not suddenly brand new today or yesterday. It has happened.
Yeah. So, and I'm saying my point is, when it comes to the cartoon pictures that they show for the offside, it has to be exactly the same as you see it in real time. When I see that Diaz one against Newcastle, Diaz is actually jumping, but the actual offside looked to me like he was standing.
Yeah. But the point Dermot's making, just to finish on this, is Fulham are well aware of this. Marco Silva was well aware of this.
All the clubs are aware of it.
Joe Bloggs on the street, maybe not so, which is why we're here today.
Exactly, and that's the thing. Because it's not a rule, we're not all aware of it, even though that came into effect 4.5 years ago, like you said.
Yeah.
And what I'm trying to tell you, this is not the first time it's happened this season, so you're aware of it. You were aware of it at Newcastle. I'm
not aware of the rule. What I'm saying, I didn't know it was a fight. I see the lines, the thicker, but I'm saying I didn't know it was. It's because it's not a rule. I wasn't exactly aware of it. That's why no one's aware of it. Everyone's talking. Why is that? That looks offside. Everyone's saying at home, everywhere. Everyone is saying that looks offside. But why is it given onside?
Going back to you,
because no one knows it.
Jay, going back to you as a player, then right now you're still playing. Semi-automated. We do this because of the camera technology, right? So they say 5 centimetres. What Arsene Wenger's almost said, let's go back to daylight. What would you prefer as a player?
For me, a whole foot. I think that would be better. A foot, yeah, just a foot.
Centimetres.
No, a foot. Yeah, a foot. I'm saying if you've done daylight, my whole body can pretty much be past yours almost. And if for example, if you did daylight, and that potentially wouldn't be daylight, but I'm ahead of you, so I can put my arm across you and hold you off now. That to me doesn't work. But I think if you did like maybe a foot, people are going to be saying but I don't know. I feel like it's not terrible right now, but I just feel like I don't want to see offsides that are like even 5 centimetres.
OK, right, come on, let's move on. Let's talk about Chris Kavanagh, because he was in charge of Bournemouth against Arsenal, and Bournemouth guys were very upset by his decision to blow for full time during a Bournemouth attack. How surprised were you by this, and should it have been allowed, Dermot? What's the ruling on this with teams on the attack and the whistle goes?
It's referee's discretion, referee's sole keeper of time. I think the referee's allowed him to play the ball in there, just blown up, but he chooses. There's no right or wrong. People say, let it play out. Well, if he lets it play out and Bournemouth score, the defending team are very, very angry about the referee playing over time. So he's in a no-win situation.
Yeah, I agree. If I was a player, though, and I'm in that situation now, and that happens, I'll be fuming, because, it's a very good opportunity to score a goal. You've got all your players in the box, and you're right there on the edge of the box. So I understand why all the Bournemouth players and management is upset. But like Dermot said, it's at the referee's discretion. It's his time.
Yeah, and that's the point, isn't it? Because, I mean, Dermot, going back to your day, you've got your watch, you've decided to add on your 6, the board's gone up, but you've had some injuries, you've had some incidents within the added on time. So you're playing added on time within added on time. That's a grey area, right, for fans and for people watching.
We had this at Manchester City yesterday, didn't we? The referee put up 7. They ended up playing closer to 10 because there was a goal scored in that time. There was a VAR check. Things happen, and the referee has to account for all that.
Because we see, I just said, also in the Champions League, I know there's a lot of references to what happens in the Champions League, and I get it, it's completely different law books. However, you see sometimes attacking teams taking a last-second corner before the player gets there to take a corner, the whistle goes. We seem to have this sort of allowance, like, come on, one last go, but there's nothing in stone, is there, to say, a final phase, a final touch, a defender gets a touch. What actually?
But even that, if you was to have a player running to take a corner and he just blows the whistle, everyone's going to be up in arms with that. So again, it's a grey area. It's awkward. What do you really go with this? Me personally, I just think you should always be able to play out the attack, but again, referee's discretion.
Put that one to bed, Dermot. Happy? Move on. There's nothing else to say.
I don't think the referee can win. He's got a tough enough job anyhow. As I said, like in rugby, the clock goes full time, and you play until the ball goes dead. If you do that, it goes on a few minutes and they score.
Well, in our little meeting before the show, Jay wanted to have a stoppage every single time. We'll be there for 4 hours.
No, I'm saying, do you know, like in that extra time, do you know that NBA clock?
Yeah.
So it just stops. Every time the game stops, it stops.
You'll be there for 7 hours.
What, in 6 minutes?
Or what, just within added time?
Yeah.
So you only have that, not throughout the rest of the game?
Not throughout the rest of the game, just in added time.
Interesting. See what you think of that. There were a lot of Arsenal fans wondering why Chris Kavanagh didn't send Antoine Semenyo off. He was already on a yellow card, guys. And this is him pulling back, inverted commas, Declan Rice during an Arsenal break. What do you make of this one, Jay?
Again, I mean, we spoke about this off air. If Declan Rice goes down, there's a good chance that he probably would get a second yellow card and get sent off. But I don't think that is a yellow card offence. Of course, Semenyo's trying to get back. He's got his hands on him, but I don't think he's got his hands on him for long enough to say that he's absolutely pulling him back.
Not enough contact for the foul there, Dermot. You're running back there. You're seeing that he's on a yellow. Let play on.
I don't think it's a foul, and I certainly don't think it's a yellow card. I even think if he goes down, he's not going to get a yellow card. I think it's just a foul. It's a foul and halfway. He's not breaking up a promising attack because there's 2 other Bournemouth players there. I just think it's a foul, and I think we have to get out the notion that every foul on the football field is a yellow card, and even more so that once you're on a yellow card, the next foul is a red card.
No, I agree with that. For me, I've seen this season yellow cards given for things like that this season. And again, we always talk about consistency and threshold. And I just say the reason why I don't think he didn't get a yellow card is because Declan Rice was honest and he tried to stay on his feet.
Where's your orange book? You had the orange book out before.
I've got the orange book there. We're going to talk about something else later.
In terms of breaking up a promising attack. And a cynical
I think the reason why that one wasn't promising, you can't see it in that clip there, but the reason why it wasn't as promising of what we've seen before, like Dermot said, there was more defenders back. So there's another defender on the left of him. Obviously, Semenyo's running back as well, and then obviously you've got your back 4 there. So I don't think it was promising in that respect, and I think that's why he didn't get a yellow card. But he did do Semenyo a favour, because if he flops down, and he's going to give the referee a decision to make.
Right, VAR checked and cleared a possible foul on Eva Nielsen by Nkapie in the build-up to Gabriel's goal for Arsenal. Dermot, your thoughts on this one as you're watching that?
Play on. I think both players swing for the ball. Play on. It's just one of them things. Normal football contact for me. Ball breaks. Evan Nielsen's the clue for me. He just gets on with the game.
Jay?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to agree with this one. I was sitting on the fence before. I was sitting on the fence, I'm not going to lie. And I did say that if you see that in the middle of the pitch, maybe there could be a foul.
Here's a different angle. Have a look at this one.
Yeah, this angle where you see, like, obviously he's kicked the bottom of his feet. We've seen things like this given this season as well. So, I mean, that's the reason why. And I think that if that was in the middle of the pitch, Evan Nielsen probably would have. But
out of interest,
Yeah.
What is the difference in the middle of the pitch? I don't understand, because normally you tell me something that happens in the penalty area.
Yeah.
It's different. That's quite important in the penalty area. So
Yeah,
why
I'm
would
just
the
saying.
referee not?
I think there's a different threshold for tackles in the middle of the pitch compared to the penalty area. And we spoke about the Phil Foden one when he was going through.
But that would have been a defensive free kick.
I'm just saying that the threshold as a whole is different if it's in the penalty area. So I think
Here's a scenario. If it had been the other way around and Ivan Nielsen had kicked in Capier and Gabriel had missed the target, do you think VAR would have come back and had a look at that?
For penalty? No.
No.
well, I think they would, yeah.
You think they would?
Yeah, I think they would, yeah.
So you don't think it's a foul,
I think it's a.
but you think it's a penalty?
Pardon?
You don't think it's a foul, but you think it's a penalty?
No, sorry, Evan Nielsen. I'm saying Evan Nielsen's side. I think he has a point because he has been kicked. He's put his foot there and he's been kicked. We've seen them this season where Evan Nielsen has been kicked.
Do you think that's a foul?
Which one? Evan Nielsen?
That one there.
Evan Nielsen.
Do you think that's a foul?
Yeah. I think Evan
But you
Nielsen.
said play it
I think
in goal.
Evan. I'm sitting on the fence. I'm saying I think
Hold on, is it
Evan.
a foul or you're on the fence?
No, I was sitting on the fence, but now he's calling me out. So obviously, I'm going to say why I was sitting on the fence. I was sitting on the
but
fence
you-
because I'm like, it's soft, but I've seen him given before. I've seen him given this season, and that's the reason why I'm always a bit hesitant. What's going on here? I am hesitant because I've seen fouls like this. I've seen penalties given for these things this season. So there's no consistency there for me.
But you're really consistent, aren't you? You've gone from
No, I haven't. No, I'm not. I'm saying,
from sat on the
I
fence.
said from the beginning, I was sitting on the fence
Yeah.
about it. And the reason why is because I know the rules and because I've seen them before, I want to say Evan Nielsen has a point. But ultimately,
Come on, Dermot.
I don't want to see
Stuck into
I don't want to see free kicks given like that all the time. I like the game. It's physical, but I'm on the fence with that one.
So you're on the fence.
I'm on the fence
You
with
don't-
that one.
You don't think it's a foul. No, you think it's a penalty.
I'm on the fence with that one.
Consistently inconsistent.
Covered all bases.
No, I'm saying Evan Nielsen is a foul. I think that's a foul. In the middle of the pitch, I think it's a foul. But I think in the middle of the pitch, he would have got it, but not in the penalty area. He hasn't.
So you had 3 goes at it. Now you've moved the location.
No, I haven't. I'm saying you said to
Tough
me.
to be a
You
ref,
said to
isn't
me. You said to me, why was it any different in the middle of the pitch? So I'm telling you why.
I just can't see it any different.
You finished? Finished.
I'm finished.
Let's look at this incident as well. So this coming together between Bournemouth's Adley and Gabriel. Let's have a look at this, guys. What are you thinking with this one, Jay? Hold on, that's the Capier one. Next one. So this is Amin Adley and Gabriel.
I mean, this is just ridiculous. That's ridiculous. I don't know what. I don't know what Adley's thinking. I mean, why would you go down and try and headbutt or try and simulate contact with Gabriel? It's just, look, and he's saying he's elbowed him. Like, I don't understand that. He's actually put his head down to Gabriel's elbow, and he's saying Gabriel's elbowed him. He should get a ban for that kind of play.
Dem?
Pictures tell everything, don't they?
And do you know what? His manager should be fining him for that, because that's embarrassing. Anyone, his friends should be going up to him and say, "What are you doing?" That's embarrassing.
Right, I want to finish this part just with an article that Martin Samuel has written in the Times, and it surrounds Mikel Arteta and how he conducts himself in the technical area. And it's worth pointing out that he is absolutely, and I can vouch for this, not the only manager who does not stay in his technical area, Arsenal fans. But Martin Samuel has written there should be no warning or caution over this. It should be a straight red and sent to the stands. Arteta knows exactly what he's doing. Dermot, your reaction to what Martin is saying, but also how do you stop it? How do you police this?
Don't let it happen. Get in straight away. Just straight away make your mark. Say, look, you've lost your geography there. I get it, but there's the line. It's quite defining, and the fourth official's got to be strong. He's got to say, I've told you. After that, follow the process. Yellow card, red card.
Just to strip this completely back, but why? And this may sound like a stupid question, but why do we have the technical areas in the first place?
To stop.
To stop Arteta going
down to the
close
corner
to the
flash.
pitch.
Just going down to the corner flag and going into other people's areas.
Because I mean, I see it, and I sit in dugouts probably more than you two these days, and they go wondering, managers. They do. They go, and it's not just Arteta. Pep does it. You know, you could name 20 managers in the Premier League.
I'll tell you one thing. If this is just for me personally. Do you know when we've seen managers that, for example, Mourinho, when Porto's, you know, in the Champions League goal and he runs down the pitch, for example, I don't mind that because it's passion. He wants to get in there with his team. Again, I don't mind the passion of Arteta kind of going across, but I think when you come right up to the line, because he's saying stuff, right? He's saying stuff. He might be clapping. He might be and that can put players off. I think that part, I'd be a bit more, you know, stay back in your box. But for example, when you run down the line and celebrate with your team, I don't think you should be punished for that.
But just again, and I'm not criticising this, but when you said get into it early, right, and get stuck in, and I see that as well. You see a fourth official, they remind them politely, and then they remind them slightly less politely and slightly. But there isn't ever a threshold where it's like, come on, I've told you 15 times. Get in your box. So is this common sense? Is Martin, are you going common sense again to what Martin Samuel's saying?
I think we're pretty tolerant, there's no doubt about that. But when you see a manager up on the touchline, I mean, you showed a couple of examples there. You know, a player comes down the wing, he's almost encroaching in his territory. You know, it's one thing to be out of your box because you lost your geography and just shouting an instruction. But when you're stood there going up and down the touchline, you're actually encroaching on the player's territory. You're stopping him playing this game.
I mean, players could easily bump into him. Players could easily hit him. And you know what as well, like I've seen, I'm not just Arteta, but I've seen managers that are really close to that line. The ball's going out of play, they catch it and give it back to their player straight away. I mean, again, that is an advantage sometimes. You know, the ball should go out, should go to the ball. That's why ball boys are there, right?
But red cards, you're not having that. You're not having red cards for geography out the box.
I don't think so. I mean, do you know what as well? To maybe stop the managers being so close to the pitch, you have to make the box smaller. So then they can't get to the pitch.
But and again, finally on this, where do you sit, Dermot, with in terms of if we did have an incident where, okay, look, I've told you, red card, would we have to get to that point to stop it happening? Because it happens all the time throughout the 90 minutes. You know, would red cards put an end to it?
I think it's a deterrent, isn't it? You don't want it to get to that stage, but if you have one or two, it acts as a deterrent and stops the rest.
Do you think they're listening, or do you think they're just? Do you think they're, like you said, it's bad geography from his part, or do you think he just don't care about it because he knows I'm not going to get sent off for this?
I think they listen at the time, they go back, and then what happens is their emotions take them back into that area again because they want to convey a message, or they want to be close to the touchline, and so you tell them again, they listen again, and they take it in, but the game, they get embroiled in it and they forget.
It's like him, isn't it? You tell him again. Yeah. It goes in here, Dermot, and out the other end.